Hello, everyone. Good morning from my side. I'm in Germany, and wherever you are based in the world, good afternoon. Welcome to today's SAP community call on how to make intelligent hiring a reality with SAP AI with our partner Cognizant. Welcome to today's call. I'm Svea Becker, and I'm part of the SAP community team, and I'm your technical host today. So I will monitor the chat throughout the whole call, and you can ask your questions already there. And we will not interrupt the presentation today, but we'll wait until the end of the call so that you can get the answers to your questions. So write it down, be patient, and we will cover the questions at the end of the call. So yeah, as I said, I'm not alone here, of course. I have great speakers with me. We have Nitol from SAP, who's the partner manager and ecosystems lead for SAP AI product success. And we have Priya and Chandra from Cognizant as well. So that's all I want to say for today. And I hand over to you, Nitol. And thanks for taking it away.
Thank you very much, Svea, for the introduction, and good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's a pleasure to have you with us this morning, this afternoon, and also it's a real pleasure to have our esteemed partners, Cognizant Technology Solutions, also with us today to talk about this topic. So we have a few slides to run through this session, more or less. So that's going to cover roughly about maybe 20 to 25 minutes, or maybe a bit more, depending on how deep we go. But then, of course, we will have a lot of time for interaction and also answering some of the questions which may come from your side. So before I start the session itself, I have to mention this disclaimer, and I'm not going to read through all of it. You might have seen it in some of the other SAP presentations or community calls before as well, right? So keep this in mind, and of course, we will share some interesting information in the course of this presentation, which you can interpret accordingly. Yeah. So Svea already gave a sneak peek into who the speakers are today, but I would really give the floor for a minute to our two guests from Cognizant to talk a little bit about their roles and what they do on a day-to-day basis. So with that, maybe Chandra, you can go first, and then Priya. Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Nitol. I am Chandrasekaran Natarajan. I'm part of Cognizant. Overall, around 27 years of industry experience, especially in the areas of SAP analytics and data intelligence and data management. I've been with Cognizant for the last 20 years, and I'm running the global SAP analytics as a practice that includes all the data and data intelligence, BI, analytics, AI, and all the intelligence platforms. That includes your blockchain, IoT, and AI ML as well. So been very closely working with SAP and been part of the intelligent journey. Also, I am the head of the SAP delivery for customers who comes under communication technology. I am information media and entertainment industry as well. So we do a lot of S4 implementations and do digital core, which is a ECC, both and enhancement support and projects as well. So that is overall about me. I have with my team member Priya. Priya, can you take it up?
Thank you. Thanks, Chandra. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to everyone. So I'm Mohanapriya Muthulingam. I have been part of Cognizant for the last 10 years, and overall industry experience is 16 years plus. I'm glad to be here, part with SAP team. I lead the SAP BTP and intelligent automation solutions for our customers. So very glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, both of you. And of course, I'm here from SAP. This is Nitol. I'm part of the central AI unit within SAP, and I'm responsible for partner management and ecosystem topics within this unit. 5.5 years with SAP, overall experience of nearly 15 years across various peers, from software services to startups to now software product as well. So in terms of the overall agenda, as I said, we have about 20 minutes of content or so. So in the first, let's say 10 minutes or so, I'm going to give you an overview about the SAP AI strategy and portfolio, very quick one, and then talk briefly about what role especially some of our partners play or could play in this overall sort of story, and then we will have Cognizant talk about some of their capabilities, of course, but then very specifically about the headline topic for this call, which is the specific solution that they developed with the help of some of our technology as well. So that's the broad agenda for the session, and I'm going to start off straight away with what the SAP portfolio is, right? So in terms of, let's say, the overall SAP AI strategy, there are three strategic pillars which define, let's say, how we have shaped our strategy, and you can see them here. The first one is, of course, that we are not, let's say, a general purpose AI player here. Our focus is mainly on how do we embed AI into SAP applications and make them more intelligent. So that's the kind of guiding light behind how we shape our strategy. The second thing is, of course, that as said, we are not in the general purpose AI play, but rather we look at business centric AI functionality, and how can we expose them for consumption on the one hand, but also how can we offer the right tooling to enable our ecosystem to build extensions also for their AI needs. And last but not the least, SAP is and has been a trusted partner for customers for years, and of course it's very important for us that we keep that trust quotient up, and therefore it's very important for us that whatever AI is built around business needs, that is ethical, that is trustworthy, and this is something which we also try and support with the overall capabilities we bring into the fore. And then in terms of portfolio, if I may start, from the bottom, let's say, at the very bottom, we have a platform which offers the possibility to sort of train and run AI scenarios. So that's the most sort of fundamental offering that we offer, and this is especially relevant when you want to do sort of AI in an SAP context with the right lifecycle management, with the right integration, and so on. So that's one, that's sort of the base offering that we offer from our portfolio, which is called the SAP AI Core. And of course, this, when I spoke about lifecycle management, this is of course supported by another offering which you see on the cross. This is called AI Launchpad, and this is again around managing and operating AI content centrally. Then I also spoke about integration. So what we also do with another component there, which is AI API, is about standardized integration and harmonized consumption of AI. And it's immaterial, more or less, from our perspective, where the workload itself runs, but we sort of provide a harmonized consumption and integration experience with this AI API. Then, of course, on top of this, we have built over the years a number of what we call as reusable functions or business services, where based on our experience and expertise, there are certain microservices which we believe address a number of different business needs, and these are also available as services on BTP, and you see some examples here. Then what we are also working on is the digital assistant layer for different SAP applications. And what we often see is that, on the one hand, you have things like a chatbot platform which allows you to sort of build chatbots, but then of course you need to have an integration between this chatbot and the SAP application, and this is the task which more or less this digital assistant layer plays. Of course, here we talk a lot about AI embedded in SAP applications. So for sure, that's a lot of where our focus is, but also we want to support the reality that, of course, AI will also be embedded in custom applications, and this is some of what we do with this tooling from the bottom that you see to the second layer, and of course with the AI API, we also want to make this consumable from other complementary AI runtimes, right? So that's the reality of the world, the enterprise world, that there are sometimes different offerings that the customers use for different capabilities, especially in the AI space, where some generic capabilities are also needed from other partners, and our goal is then to make it possible for the customer to consume it in an SAP context as well, right? So this is our overall strategy. So building on this, as I said, there's a lot of embedding of AI capabilities that is going on across different lines of businesses, and you have probably already seen a few times that we sort of look at end-to-end process views around these 4 key processes: recruit to retire, source to pay, lead to cash, design to operate. And we have a number of different capabilities that we have built into our different LOB offerings, and in some cases also industry cloud offerings that are geared to meet specific intelligence process gaps or requirements around these end-to-end processes. And it's not just these end-to-end processes, but also there are certain capabilities which are across these processes, like for example with the process automation portfolio, where we contribute again content into these different areas, and those are also somehow AI powered, right? So that's the focus from an SAP perspective is more or less to look at this cross process, and also to look at reuse components across these different processes. Now, we have had some very good recent recognition around the whole embedded AI space, and again, let me reiterate, right? We are not in the general purpose AI play. There are a lot of players who are doing that. There's a lot happening out in the open source world, and we should make the best use of that to make the technology then relevant in a business context. Our focus really has been in this embedded AI space, right? So IDC has ranked us as a leader in a couple of ERP evaluations. And why I mentioned this here is because our focus on AI and ML has been quoted as one of the reasons why we sort of feature in the leader quadrant in these ERP evaluations. And in a similar note, when we talk of software as a service companies, again, this is very important, right? So when we talk of the software as a service space, they're also, because of some of the native AI capabilities that is built into our applications, SAP also ranks quite favorably in this recent study done by Omdia, where we are ranked quite high at number 3 in the overall embedded AI ranking. So now we spoke a lot about embedded AI, and that's of course one part of the game. But we have a partner today, and it's important to sort of have a segue with the role of the partners, right? So of course, SAP builds some components which are geared towards its own applications and sort of is part of the standard. And then of course, as I said, we provide some kind of tooling which can aid the extension play, right? So across the spectrum, we see that our partners like Cognizant and others have a very important role to play, and we have a number of possibilities there, right? So this could be in the area of let's say the last mile, which is around services and integrating some of the AI into the customer landscape, to potentially even the first mile, where the solutions are being defined that meet very specific customer requirements, and then potentially it's either an SAP technology or a combination of SAP and other technologies that is fulfilling that customer need, and the partners are really helping define that, right? So and last but not the least, you have these different scenarios which are already available, right? And maybe in many cases, customers have them in their landscapes, they are not activated, right? So this is also part of what our ecosystem helps bridge, right? So in terms of really communicating to the customers what value they can get out of their existing SAP landscape, and what kind of additional value adds SAP already provides, or the customer or the partner in combination with SAP can provide, right? So that's the overall value play that the partners bring in. So that's so much about SAP, what its SAP strategy is, and what some of the what its AI strategy is, and what is the role some of our partners play in this whole play, right? And with that, I hand it over to our partner Cognizant to talk a little bit about themselves and their solution, right? So I hand it over to you, Chandra.
Yeah, thanks, Nitol. Thank you so much. Good day, viewers. Cognizant, as one of the leading service partners for SAP, we have been having customers all over the globe, especially in the area of intelligent enterprise using SAP. And what I'm going to talk about, especially in the areas of intelligent enterprise, we follow a digital at scale framework which help us to onboard customers to think big and start small and scale fast. So that is the kind of approach we take in terms of driving our customers into the digital enterprise themes, right? So across the globe, we are close to around 9,000 odd consultants who are practicing, out of which we have more than 5,000 certifications across the group. So the consultants have been across the globe, mostly supporting customers across Americas, Europe, and Asia Pac, right? So predominantly our business team sits out of India and Asia Pacific. However, our service customers are predominantly based out of US, and we are being growing very fast in the Europe countries as well. So we have quite a lot of in-country delivery centers. Like we have 19 delivery centers in Americas, and we have 3 nearshore centers for the America customers, and also we have 3 nearshore centers supporting the Middle East customers as well, Middle East and Europe customers as well, right? So such a big practice you might be looking at in terms of what actually we will be doing, especially on the SAP AI side of it. Yes, while we take customers into the intelligent enterprise themes, our core focus is in terms of taking the business processes and optimizing it, digitalizing it to the best possible extents for a better ROI, and also to a faster go-to-market, right? And similarly, our AI at scale, we look forward for customers taking and adopting the intelligent themes in terms of how we will drive the AI at scale in the business processes, where they'll take it to the customers, they'll take it to the end customers as well, right? So with these capabilities, we have been recognized as one of the leaders, especially in the Gartner quadrants, and various other analysts has rated us in the top quadrants of their analysis, and also we have been getting into the awards quite frequently, right? Innovation is part of our culture, and we have been doing several hackathons, bringing most customers and the technical developers together in terms of doing a lot of innovation that really makes sense to the business as well. And as part of it, we have won many awards. Couple of things which I want to just bring it or highlight it is the BTP awards, which we won in 2022 for our procurement sustainability solution, which is now being built at scale for customers and beyond. And similarly, we have won the runner-up award for BTP IntelliHire solution, which is the one which we are going to talk about it in this forum, right? Moving on. Right. So when pandemic hit, it was unexpected that most of the things get on to a grinding halt, right? So from our customers' business standpoint, we have several disruptions which we had seen especially on the manufacturing and supply chain side of it, and similarly when it got opened up, things get opened up, and the floodgates. Like floodgates, and a lot of business opportunities emerged, new kind of business opportunities emerged for the customers in terms of monetizing a lot of new opportunities, right? So they have to be very lean, nimble, and agile in terms of transforming the business processes, adapting to the situation, and then use the opportunity to grow faster, right? So our intelligent enterprise theme is really for such kind of customers who can come forward in terms of driving this change, especially in the entire process change, process automation or process optimization area. So when we are talking about our customers, and also we saw there are several challenges in terms of bringing the right kind of talent into the program, and also we have to bring in right amount of due diligence in the process to ensure that the right talents are being recruited, right? Given that there are so much of transformation we are doing to customers in the process and business side of it, also we see an enormous amount of opportunity in terms of digitalizing the process of the hiring life cycle, and also modernize it, and also see how we can transform and give a very pleasant journey for both from the employee as well as the employer perspective. So with that, actually, we started on this IntelliHire journey. May I call Priya to just explain about the solution more and talk about it?
Thank you. Thanks, Chandra. So to just add on to what Chandra was talking about, right? So at this solution, we started building along with SAP as part of COIL initiative. And the major challenge, as we all know, that the talent war that we are all trying to fight, and even our customers in this endeavor, where we wanted to address a couple of challenges to start with, right? One of them is the current hiring process itself. It lacks the transparency and the visibility that the hiring candidates are looking for. So now the candidates are more into like wanted to join an organization where they see the organization is aligned with their own values. So the transparency, establishing that is critical at this point of time, and also the delaying the hiring process. So altogether with no clarity of where exactly they are waiting for and what are the details that they have to look for from HR. So there are many other points where we see there's a delay in the hiring process. So this adds more complexity in terms of the hiring. And also we see that based on the industry experts, right, the 50% of job seekers, if you look at it, they decline the offers just because of the bad candidate experience. That's what we see in the market altogether. So looking at all these challenges, we come up with our solution, which is built on top of SAP BTP platform, and where we leveraged SAP AI core services, AI Launchpad services, in conversational AI to make it more engaged and interactive for the candidates for the better experience, and also integrating with our success factors. So these are the components that we leveraged from SAP BTP to bring up with our solution. So if you look at our solution, where we start the entire journey is to have a more of a simplified candidate journey. And this entire model is being defined in a candidate-centric recruitment model, so that we focus on our long-term relationship with our candidates to hit more engaged and more diverse performing candidates. So thereby, we wanted to remove the unconscious bias that occurs, in the hiring process. So what we kind of do is we leverage the resume matching and the document processing services of SAP, which internally help us to have more data that is derived out of the resume, and we have this data available with us in our HANA platform. So thereby, we improve the quality of the hire as well as the cost of reduce the cost of hiring here. So, and our solution is, where we start with the facial recognition. So the candidates can have themselves recognized. Based on that, we authenticate them, allow them for a chatbot screening. So that particular chatbot screening, if you look at it, it is more to have the preliminary questions, skill profiling that can be done. So where we have our auto scoring model, that's a proprietary model that has been built on top of SAP BTP platform. And it helps in doing the auto scoring of the questions and answers. So the weightage is being given based on the answers, and based on which they will be shortlisted and moved across to the different level of interviews, so that we have a live monitoring available for us in our recruitment analytics, which could be taken up by 5 different personas. So we have our 5 personas whom we wanted to address this entire solution. So it is all about our candidates, HR partners, and then talent acquisition team, and then business leaders and hiring managers. So these are our personas who will be able to look at the live monitoring of the interview process. We have our WhatsApp as our channel by which the candidates and all our personas can be able to know the interview status on subscription. And Uberization of the recruitment is something that we are also having in our part of our solution, which helps to understand and delay the hiring process, right? Because the candidates are on the side where they're waiting for getting interviewed, and on the other side, we have sometimes the shortage of the interview panel or not unavailability, wherein that entire process also gets delayed. So we wanted to Uberize this concept, wherein we will be able to match the recruiters on the other side and also the candidate on the other side, fix them so that we will be able to accelerate the entire hiring process. So that's the basic solution that we have come in. Moving on to the next screen. So we just have a couple of screenshots that explains how the entire solution is being defined. So this is our live streaming dashboard, which is recruitment analytics, which has a complete data set pulled across from the journey of being the candidate profile details, how many candidates have attended the interview, and a lot more, which also have a live dashboard to show that who are the candidates that are taking up an interview on a day one, and what is their current status and what next, right? What they are looking for and their joining time as well. So the entire recruitment analytics is being derived out of this. Next screen, Nitol. So this is our chatbot screening, which we were talking about. So once a candidate is authenticated, this is where you will be ending up in terms of attending your interview. So based on the skill set and their experiences, the dynamic list of questions are being populated. So we have been able to have these questions configured in our success factor, and based on their skill set, experience, and their personalized way of their values, we will be able to generate these questions automatically. So we will be able to specify the number of questions that they wanted to take at a point in time, and they will be given a amount of time for even the responding them. And if they don't know the answer, they can really feel to skip it as always, right? So based on these questions and answers, the scoring is being done at the background, and once they are able to finish the questions and answers, they'll be able to submit it. So once it is done, the auto scoring model calculates the scores, and it will send the details to the hiring managers and respective stakeholders to have it, monitor the details, and also it will be able to say on spot for the pre-screening whether they will be qualified or they are not qualified for the next round of interview. So that's where we were giving the more transparency in terms of what are the questions that they can attend and their qualification in the pre-qualification rounds itself. And the hiring managers are also having the clarity about the questions and their weakness and strengths of the specific candidates on specific subjects, right? Moving on to the next screen. So this is a scoring model which I was talking about, so which we have built on leveraging our SAP AI Core and AI Launchpad. So the beauty of this particular solution is all about having the data trained and getting deployed at scale. So it is very easy for us in terms of integrating with the different architectures, pointed solution, which will help us to scale and train it on the go. So we were able to have it more data added on. So as the more data is available for us, the training becomes much easier to have it the highest confidence level in terms of giving the accuracy of the answers. Yeah. Next slide, Nitol. Yeah, so this is the bot which we were talking about, and where we have WhatsApp as our channel. So this bot is available for all our stakeholders, which will enable us to communicate and have it more interactive, for our candidates. So to start with the journey, so the hiring manager can ask, hey, how many candidates are going to appear in today's interview? So it will give the entire list of details and also tell us who are all waiting for the interview. Right. So at one point in time, it gives that data, and the candidate can come in and say, what is the status of mine? So they can give their candidate ID, and then they'll be given with what is that they're waiting for first and what are their entire journey. So they know that they have at least L1, L2, L3 rounds of interview, and this entire score is also given to them. So that transparency is available with the candidates. So once they have the details, they'll be redirected to the L2 and L3 accordingly in the same chatbot. So it will be more of guiding the candidates for the next rounds of interview. And once it is done, the hiring manager can look at, hey, how many have cleared the interview? They can ask this question in the chatbot. And once it is given, the entire candidates who are being selected will be listed down. And on the go, the hiring manager can mention that schedule this interview with the HR, so that it is tightly integrated with our Office 365, and it will be able to communicate and schedule the interviews. So this is the way where we wanted to give a holistic perspective and experience to our entire stakeholders to have a seamless journey altogether. So by this, I think we are covering most of the parts of the solution that it is capable of. And thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Priya and Chandra, for your great insights here. I mean, it's been, of course, a pleasure to collaborate in this project with you, also from our side, and we look forward to continuing it to the next phases. Before we jump into the questions, right? So I just wanted to understand, right? So, you are a a known system integrator, and you've highlighted your credentials also in the SAP space, right? So I just wanted to understand, right, in the AI ML space, what are you seeing in the market as a services player, which is also looking at sort of building accelerators and solutions for their customers, right? So, what do you see in the market from your lens in the AI space, which is really intriguing or interesting, right? So, do you have some insights to share for the community there?
Sure. In fact, most of our customers whom we are working on in transforming the business processes and taking their intelligent journey, we had seen customers who are getting adopted to AI, who scaled AI on the business processes. They could realize the potential benefit, which they could unlock the potential benefits in terms of uh, getting more ROI out of the investment, right? So, for example, a typical business processes, when it gets more intelligence, the time to market reduced by around 25 to 30%, and overall operational efficiency, they could do quite a significant amount of saving to the tune of 40% is what we had seen, right? In terms of cost reduction, in terms of acceleration in sales, in terms of bringing in a new product, in terms of creating opportunities for new line of business, monetizing new service opportunities, right? We had seen quite a lot of value in terms of customer scaling up on AI, especially on the business process. And while Cognizant is quite big on AI and analytics, our embed AI actually is leapfrog on their expertise, and just we are also scaling up on the intelligent enterprise theme. And together with SAP, it has been a great journey so far in terms of building several accelerators, S4 extensions, Ariba extensions, and now SuccessFactors extensions, which have uh, been go to market with SAP as well. So this is what we had seen in the market, and it is the tip of the iceberg. We have a long way to go, especially in this space.
No, I think this is really interesting, because it also somehow underscores what we spoke about in the first part of the presentation, and also with your introduction, right? So we spoke a little bit about embedded AI for business processes. This is really something which moves the needles, right? And you, as someone who is sitting close to the customer in many cases, yeah, so and really having a feel for the market, you understand like where the real problems are, the real needs are, and therefore you are translating this tool and technology into something which is then useful for the customer, right? So we also do it SAP at the first level, at a more standardized level, and then you are sort of completing the last mile and the first mile, as I said, right? So it's very interesting. So maybe the follow-up question that I have here is, we spoke about this AI core and AI launchpad solution, and thanks Priya for also sharing a screenshot as well, right? So what's been like, what do you think is the value add for this solution? And of course, we also see or understand, that there would be need to improve and so on, right? So how do you see this? What's the value add, and where there is scope for improvement, right, based on your experience?
Sure. Thank you, Nitol, for asking that question, right? So to start with, we just need to understand the real lessons of how AI Core and AI Launchpad helps us, right? So I strongly believe that the AI is the core driver for the businesses on their path to innovation. So even according to the industry experts, we hear that by 2025, the volume of data generated worldwide will reach 175 zettabytes, which is nothing but 175 billion terabytes of data, which is equivalent to 430% of increase over the data produced by 2018. So that's the volume of data that is getting generated on year. And for organizations and for our customers who are committed to data-driven decision making, this increase in data will be a boon, because the large set of data is the raw material for us to derive the in-depth business intelligence that drives the improvement in our business operations and leading to new line of business too. In that case, SAP AI Core being the SAP runtime for heavy load AI, that is how we see it for heavy load AI, allowing us to train and deploy the AI models cost efficiently at scale. So otherwise, it's going to cost us a lot in terms of when we wanted to scale with that volume of data in a longer run. And while we are working with SAP AI Core, we also saw that it is extremely developer friendly, easy to use, being a SaaS product offered by SAP. And it is also built on open source Argo workflows, so that the orchestrating the parallel jobs on Kubernetes is so flexible for us to control the different entities of the project through the YAML workflow files and bind to the core AI services. Even to say that when we started this solution build, we were not having the support of libraries of OpenCV, and we could see that that has also come up, the OpenCV and TensorFlow independent of the Conda environment. So that is making the model even run much faster, Nitol. So that's the observation from the AI Core. And AI Launchpad, if you take, it definitely gives a unique experience for us, which we didn't have it earlier in terms of monitoring and managing the AI models, which will be helpful for streamlining the AI or lifecycle management of your use cases. That is what exactly you covered in our first slide also. So really, we need to understand how the entire roadmap of SAP Launchpad and AI Core services comes in, so that we will be able to scale more use cases. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. It's encouraging that that you had some of that experience, and you probably parts of the value proposition was even described better by you, than maybe what I did initially, because of course I try to cover it at a high level, but this is very, very, very useful. I guess what I hear from you also is, of course, data for AI. This is when we started the AI journey, maybe 6-7 years back, right? When we started it as a research sort of offering, and then we started to slowly incubate offerings, and then look into scale offerings. I remember at that point in time there was a statistic which said there has been as much data generated in the last 3 years as has been in entire humanity. And now you just said, 430% increase in the last few years. So this is really the driver, but also the other part which Chandra said. Of course, there is the need to optimize because of the environment that companies still operate in, and in every aspect, in every part of the business, there is so much scope to look at new models, new processes, how to improve experiences, and so on and so forth. This is what we as SAP try to look at, right? When we look at end-to-end processes, not just the integration part, but all between the different systems, but also how to improve the different users and personas experience, right? We look at that, and then translating this into business benefits, right? This is also a little bit of a challenge now, I would say, that you guys take up, right? So really making it tangible for the customers, right? This is something where a lot of you play a very, very useful role, and I think with IntelliHire you have a great value proposition, and hopefully you can build on that. So I think that's so much about our conversations. Svea, was there anything that was coming up from the audience today as questions so far?
So first of all, thanks so much for the presentations. It was really valuable content, and I think you have explained it all and shared everything very, very well, because there are no questions at the moment. But I would like to take the opportunity, of course, to let our audience know that you can find all the upcoming community calls in our groups. I will paste it in the chat here very soon. And also, please go to the community, follow AI, the topic, follow our speakers. It's always good to connect throughout the call. And I got from all the things you were talking, I really understand it's a great collaboration between SAP and Cognizant. So what are the future plans? So do you have some future plans with your solutions?
Mm-hmm. So maybe I can start, and then Priya, Chandra, you can add here. So we first of all we continue our collaboration because we have this very intriguing solution, and then the next step, of course, is to look at how do we get more customers overall, right? Interested in this value proposition. That's part of what probably Cognizant largely as part of the GTM engine tries to drive, but also productizing this, right? So productizing this and offering this within the SAP store. I think this is also something which we set out as a joint goal of this project. So these are some of the things that we are focusing on, and I think Priya, Chandra can also add. I think there are some first interested potential customers as well around that space. Yeah. So.
Yeah, absolutely, Nitol. You're spot on, right? So we have already been demonstrated to a few of our customers. We have some potential customer pipeline that has been generated, and we are taking along with the overall sales community of SAP as well to take it to larger customer base. And in parallel, we are also taking it to our own company as well as our subsidiaries in terms of having this as one of the component as part of our success factors, which we'll be implementing. So we are also looking at the feasibility of integrating with other talent select tools and other technologies. So we will be taking it to a larger audience, larger customer base, and we'll take it to the market soon.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great point, because of course you in AI it's we have even if we have data, we build let's say an MVP, and then maybe this is more than an MVP at this point in time, and then we have to validate it, right? Because then you understand the realities of the different landscapes. So it's great that you are looking to do that in your own landscape, and understand very simply, right? What kind of, I mean, you mentioned the chatbot, right? So there are maybe a certain number of intents that are covered there. Maybe there are other intents that we need to model this for, right? So all of these realities are going to crop up as we have these individual projects. So no, that's really great, and it's a logical sort of follow up to what we have already done. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think that's good content for future community calls, of course. I'm always seeing everything from the perspective of the community. So it would be really good to have you back here. And if there are no more questions, we can save people's time. We can save our time. And I thank you so much again for having been part of this SAP Community Call series. I hope you enjoyed it as well as I did. And I wish everyone a really great rest of the day, and hope to see you in one of the next community calls. So thanks again, and bye-bye.
Thank you all. Thank you, Svea.
Thank you.
Thank you, Priya, Chandra. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.